If not because of our ancestors' heroism, we can attain the freedom that we have now. So let's travel back to the past and take a look at the sacrifices that our heroes have gone through before the revolution.
Magandang araw po, senyor.
Magandang umaga nito. Ito pala yung sulat ko. Paramin mo nga yung kopya nito. At ilakala mo sa ating kasabi. Siguro daw makakabasa sila nito.
Masusunod po, senyor.
Salamat.
Senyor!
Oo, ano yun?
May dumating na sulat para sa inyo.
Tungkol sa ito.
Kabilin-bilinan sa akin na importanteng bagay ito at karapat-dapat lamang na ipalathala sa lahat ng miyembro.
O sige, ipatawag ang lahat ng miyembro ngayon din.
Masusunod, senyor.
Mga kasapi, nandito tayo ngayon upang magkaisa at ipaglaban ang ating karapatan bilang Pilipino. Ipaglaban!
Ipaglaban! Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!
Mabuhay!
The Second Propaganda Movement, 1872 to 1892. Filipino expatriates in Europe formed the propaganda movement. Through their writings and orations, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Rosana Lopez Jaina, and Jose Rizal sounded the trumpets of Filipino nationalism and brought it to the level of the masses. The propagandists mainly aim for representation of the Philippines in the Cortes Generales, secularization of the clergy, legalization of Spanish and Filipino equality, among others.
First propaganda movement in 1860 until 1872 was proposed by Pedro Paredes, where he campaigned the rights for the Filipino peace. He brought the case to the Vatican and only succeeded, if not for an earthquake that cut his career short. The earthquake struck on June 3, 1863, during the feast of Corpus Christi. The ideology, which appealed the writing of wrongs done to the Filipino peace with unquestionable moral and intellectual qualities, would prove loyal to the Spanish, was carried by his militant disciple, Jose Burgos. Though no one told who the mastermind was, there were rumors that it was Padre Burgos. The death of Jose Burgos and the other alleged conspirators, Mariano Gomez and Jacinto Zamora, on February 17, 1872, seemingly ended the entire Creole movement.
Padre Jose, narito ang mga isinulat ni Pedro. Bago siya mamatay, sinubukan niyang ipaglaban ang mga karapatan ng mga pare o praile.
Sa totoo lang, siya ang taong may maraming ginawa. At sa binabasa ko,
Gusto kong ipagpatuloy kanya mga ginawa noon.
Sigurado akong matutuwa siya kapag ikaw napatuloy sa kanyang gawain na ipaglaban ang mga karapatan ng mga pare at ng mga praile noong siya ay buhay pa.
Okay, sige. Go ahead.
So, sorry for sir. We're here today so to ask interview about Rizal. So, for you, sir, what do you think the prerequisite for tools in order to have a successful revolution?
Well, if you're asking me about revolution, are you asking me from the point of view of Rizal?
Yeah. Or also you, sir.
Because if from the point of view of Rizal, Rizal did not join actually the Katipunan, despite the invitation, that it was really a special, how would I say that, mission for Dr. Pio Valenzuela to convince Rizal to join the revolution. But despite of a number of, persuasive attempts of Dr. Valenzuela, Rizal did not join the revolution. One, because he was arguing that for a revolution to succeed, the revolutionary movements, the revolutionary groups must have enough arms. Second, the revolution must have the support of the international community. Third, the people, the time, the Filipino people must have the strong resolve really to wage a revolution. And all those things, I think, although the last one was very much, present among Filipinos at that time, but the earlier two were not around. That was according to Rizal. But you have to understand also Rizal that he was isolated from some time, from the revolution, being away in the Pitan for a number of years. And so he was not very privy of what was going on really on the Katipunan led by Bonifacio. On your question, what are the requisites for a revolution to succeed? First and foremost, I think, for a revolution to succeed, there must be a strong resolve among Filipinos, among the people, to wage a revolution. In other words, we must be fighting against, and that revolution must bring about change. So that is one. That is the result of that one. Second, revolution is not only just a matter of dissent. It must be done in a scientific way. So the military aspect, the political aspect, the socio-cultural aspect, including, of course, the medical and among other requisites. So all these are needed in a revolution. And in fact, if you want to learn something about revolution, you don't have to go away, because in the Philippines, we have such the longest reigning revolution. It is a revolution led by the CPP-NPA, and it has been quite some time. And so, going back to my earlier points, amongst those who embrace Marxism, Leninism, we have that strong resolve to fight for change. So it is the ideology that really, drive them to wage the revolution. Second, they're using arms, because there is no revolution to succeed without the use of arms. A revolution is really very powerful. There is not, although we had the 1986 Philippine Revolution, which was, of course, what we call a peaceful, non-violent means to revolution. But if you talk about that, it was about middle class revolution. It was really not much I would call it even as a collective dissent of Filipinos against the Marcos rule at the time. but I cannot yet qualify that as really a true revolution in real sense. In real sense. Because as I said, one, if you look at the EDSA revolution, there were many ideologies. They were not really, they were up only against, tackling the very exploitative, very oppressive regime of Marcos at the time. So when you talk about revolution, you all have these requisites, and it must have the buckets of the international community. That is why if you look at what is going on now in the Philippines, a peace process or a peaceful negotiation between the revolutionary movement and the government of the Republic of the Philippines cannot be done by themselves, even through the office of the PAN-OPAC. There must be an external body or external entity that would mediate, because what is important in any peace process is confidence building, trust, no? And openness and flexibility. So unless all these criteria are met, then that's it. No? As I said earlier, if you're talking about the requisite of this successful revolution, those are the requisites. And we could have had that. We could have had a very successful revolution. The problem was during the time, the Filipinos were not united. No? The leaders, especially, I would say, they were not united in their stand, even in their own resolve in waging the revolution. Aguinaldo had his own agenda. Bonifacio had the agenda to really, wage a revolution against Spain for independence. But other leaders did not have that kind of resolve. They were fighting for, assimilation. They were not really interested in toppling the Spanish regime. They were more interested in sharing power. So all these are historical, accounts that I think we must learn. That's why when we go back today, the issue of revolution continues.
So the next thing is, sir, what do you think is the ideology of Rizal?
You're asking me about the ideology of Rizal, no? So you go back again to when Rizal was born. Rizal was born in a revolutionary era. It was the time when Europe was, there was, I think, a lot of political developments in Europe. More so, that was marked by the rise of liberal ideas. And in other countries, there were revolutions. It was the time when Great Britain rose into power and challenging, of course, the traditional powers of Spain and Portugal. And that inspired, other colonies to wage a revolution against their colonial masters. Like, for example, you're talking about the American Revolution. No? And it was also the time of the French Revolution, how French Revolution changed the not only the economic landscape, but as well as the religious political landscape of Europe at the time. So in other words, Rizal was born really in this revolutionary era. And all these ideas, all these theories, liberal theories, even eventually the socialist and the communist ideology, anarchy, all these influence the political process of Rizal, which he used to fight against the Spanish colonial government in the Philippines. And you can see that, if you look at his very important writings, especially the two great novels, the unexpurgated novels, LTD and Noli Me Tangere. All of those novels, even including all his articles, contain his political ideas. And he was really influenced by, for example, he was an avid, he learned avid reader about the French Revolution. he read a lot of theories of the liberal democratic thinkers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Montesquieu, Diderot, no, and John Locke, no, and he was exposed to anarchy as another theory. Bakunin was he was inspired by Voltaire about the power of the pen, that the pen is mightier than the sword. And then of course he was exposed to the socialist the emerging socialist ideology or the communist ideology, primarily from the ideas of Marx and Hegel and many more. So all this, in fact, the idea of revolution, he got it from the communists and the anarchists, right? Okay, but the only thing is that he did not allow the revolution to succeed in his novel. I think his agenda was actually to open the minds, to bring up to that there is such an option for Filipinos if they want change, if they want to have to fight against Spain. So I think those were the ideas of this time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, lang?